welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Things really haven't been going right for the Congress ever since the Lok Sabha debacle. Unlike the BJP, of course, which seems to be riding a winning wave. But the irony is, as the main opposition party, it is the onus of the Congress to cobble together some sort of a Modi versus rest coalition and try and stop the BJP juggernaut. But to do that, to convince others to climb onto its own platform, it has to first decide what is the platform that it is offering and also who is leading the Congress. Is Rahul Gandhi really the best person to do the job? And if he is not, then should Sonia Gandhi take over? Or should the Congress go in for some sort of a democratic elections and opt for a non-Nehru Gandhi to lead the party? To discuss that with me, joining me on the roundtable are Pankaj, Vohra, managing editor for the Sunday Guardian; Arati, Jerath, she's a political analyst and a columnist. We have Dr. Sanjaya Baru, he's a former media advisor in the Manmohan Singh government, and also he's an author who's written two very interesting books on two former Congress prime ministers. And of course, Siddharth Varadarajan, he's the founding editor of the Wire.in. Dr. Baru, I'll begin with you first. For the Congress, they really have to get their act together before they can ask someone else to join their platform and form this Modi versus the rest coalition. Who is leading the Congress? Is Rahul Gandhi really the best face?
No, Rahul Gandhi is over. I mean,
Okay.
As I've said in my columns, he's been demonetized.
That's a good one.
This currency is no longer of any value.
And demonetization worked in the end, so you never know.
No, but he's been demonetized. No? It's like your old 100 rupee note, so no use. I don't think there is any future for the Congress with Rahul Gandhi. You need a new leadership, but the new leadership cannot be invented or created in Delhi. It comes from the state level. Look at the BJP. You had after Atal Bihari Vajpayee, all these people in Delhi, from Mr. Advani to Murli Manohar Joshi to Sushma Swaraj to Arun Jaitley to Raj, all these japs sitting in Delhi, and you got a provincial politician like Narendra Modi who rose from the state level and established his base there and came to Delhi. The Congress needs one strong provincial leader. Now, it can be someone internal, I don't know who there is at the moment, but it could be someone like Mamata Banerjee, a former congresswoman. If she comes back into the party and then takes charge of the party, that could be one way of reviving. So you come from below rather than here, okay, you remove Rahul, bring in Priyanka, remove Priyanka, bring in somebody else sitting in Delhi. Party is not going to be revived like that because the party has been destroyed from below. And the only future for the Congress is to reconstruct it from below.
There's also a rumor that Sonia Gandhi may continue for 2 more years, at least, till Rahul gets his act together or she finds some way out. Would that be a good option?
You see, it would at best be a holding operation, because the fact is that whatever formula or whatever prescription she was following has proved a complete failure. The party today, when they hit 44 or 42 in the last election, everybody felt that this is rock bottom now. Things can only improve. But if you look at the party's performance, particularly in Uttar Pradesh, where they even went into an alliance, the fact is that the party is looking at an even more abject future. Right?
The rock bottom got rockier.
And I think that Sanjay is absolutely right that this idea that within the family you can move, so Sonia can prolong her tenure, or you move Rahul, or bring Priyanka, and there's even this absurd theory that maybe Varun Gandhi should be imported because he has more charisma or whatever. All these different theories which do not break with the Parivarvad or this kind of dynasticism of the party. And I think that until, I think one nuance we need to add though is that it's perhaps not so easy for the dynasty to walk away either, right? In the sense that, when people say that the party will collapse or crumble if the dynasty were to move away, there's a grain of truth in that. But essentially, the dynasty has to recognize its limitations. It has credibility enough to put a new order in place. And by new order, I don't mean cherry picking a Manmohan Singh or cherry picking somebody else and then commanding everybody to be loyal, but actually creating a new institutional structure within the party. You haven't had elections for so many years. Right, so just like a Sirisena in Sri Lanka or the Bhutan king, are the people who say, fine, I'm going to use my authority to weaken the presidential system in Sri Lanka and go back to the prime ministerial system, or get rid of the monarchy and have a constitutional monarchy, and they then follow it through. It's really up to Rahul and Priyanka to say, and Sonia to say, look, this is not working. We have to institutionalize robust democracy within the party. And I think, again, Sanjay Baru is right that in the absence of state-level leaders, this party does not have a future, right? So, can they create a structure and an institution which would throw up these leaders into positions of, of control? If they can't do that, then I think it's curtains for this party.
Pankaj, this is what is needed, but I mean, forget the will. Can that happen? Because at the end of the day, the Congress is so glued to the idea of just working under the Gandhi Nehrus that will they agree to vote somebody else?
The leadership may agree or not, but the truth is that people do not wish to vote for any of the Gandhis right now. It may happen in the future, but right now they are not in this favor. The Congress is in very bad shape. Even after the 2014 debacle, there's been no introspection. The last AICC session was held in Delhi on the 17th of January 2014. After that, there's been no AICC session. The present leadership is surrounded either by sycophants or by middlemen or by lawyers. The grassroots levels have no access to the leadership, and they continue to be a 132-year-old party outsources its strategy to a person who has come from the United States and is making strategy for them to win or lose in UP. I mean, how can this be possible? I mean, it's unbelievable. And otherwise also, the Congress, if you look at it, Sonia Gandhi is directly responsible for whatever the situation with the Congress right now is. She has been president for the last 19 years. People had no objections to her being the president, but people had great objections to her advisors who have also been with her for the last 19 years. They are the ones who not only brought the Congress to this stage, and also they were the ones who initially started planting stories against Rahul Gandhi, who has become a universal Pappu, as the BJP likes to describe him. And if Rahul Gandhi has failed, it is not so much because of the BJP as it is because of Sonia's advisors who never allowed him to come up. And they had their own agenda. They continue to have their own agenda. I don't think the Congress under Sonia Gandhi or under the Gandhis can do well. They have to think beyond the Gandhis. And as Sanjay pointed out, Mamata Banerjee perhaps is the best bet. She's from the Congress stable. She has done her apprenticeship in the party. She's comparatively younger.
Been a chief
She's a mass
minister.
leader.
Right.
She has dislodged the communists after 34 years in West Bengal. This is a second term, and she has acceptability. And there's not much the BJP can put on her. I mean, her slate is comparatively clean.
Okay. But Arati, I remember once you said this earlier, it's not so important for everybody else is not going to be voting for a Gandhi Nehru, as he has said, but within the Congress to hold them together, it is important for them to say.
It's true as an idea that the Gandhi family holds the Congress together. But I think even within the Congress today, if you talk to congressmen, old or young, I don't think any of them have faith in Rahul Gandhi's leadership potential at all, So I don't see Rahul Gandhi being able to really even keep the Congress together, If indeed he was to become Congress president, it's quite possible that the Congress will start disintegrating.
Anyway.
So I think the first thing Sonia Gandhi needs to realize that neither of her children can lead this party anymore. And neither of her children really are also even acceptable to the larger public. Certainly, as Pankaj said, he's become a universal Pappu, which the BJP has successfully branded him as.
And he fits that role, no? He walked into it.
Yes. So I think the first thing Sonia Gandhi needs to realize is that she needs to make very serious institutional changes in the Congress party. She needs to prepare the Congress for a life without Gandhis, without a Gandhi at the top. And whether it means importing a Mamata Banerjee in as a leader or creating a kind of collective leadership of people who are leaders in their own right from the states. I think a way forward is certainly to democratize it and to have elections right down at the grassroots level, and not fixed elections where you get in dynasts and things like that and use money power, but genuine democratic elections at the grassroots level, so that you throw up new leaders, you get fresh blood in, and you start working from there. And I think this is Sonia's challenge, really. If she wants to keep the Congress party alive in politics, this is what she needs to do.
And also, Sanjay, not just a question of leader, it's also the question of the ideology. A lot of people are saying this appeasement ideology, you should stop. And Congress has, flirted with soft Hindutva before. Should they, stop really going towards just one appeasement and try and, go a bit right wing also?
Well, you see, any political party that wants to be relevant has to be sensitive to the kind of thinking and political evolution of a country. The old formula of the Congress obviously is not paying them dividends. Right? Reality today is that a lot of us Indians identify ourselves in terms of our religions, not just Hindus, every community. This happened for the first time in Kerala 50 years ago. It's not as if communal politics started in India in the last 10 years. The electorates have been communalized across the country for all religions. And any political party has to deal with it. How they deal with it is a different issue, but you can't ignore it. And the success of the BJP has been to paint the Congress as a party that is indulging in minority appeasement, right? The fact is that the minorities have not been always with the Congress. You look at across the country, wherever they've had a non-Congress, non-BJP option,
They've gone for that.
minorities have gone there, whether Mulayam in UP or Mayawati or Nitish or even Mamata Banerjee. I mean, you know, therefore,
It's a good point,
this appeasement, whatever you would like to call it, has not worked. Now, the question you are asking is, should they revert to majority appeasement, if you like?
Indira Gandhi did that.
Like the BJP, but why will anybody go to the B team of the Hindus if you are with the A team? Unless the B team is willing to offer something more, which means really it is not about religion, it has to be about development. And I do sincerely believe, based on all the opinion polls I've seen in the last 20 years, that at the end of the day, when the voter is in the voting booth, he is pressing the button, he is thinking about his job, about his children, about his livelihood. Rarely do people vote because I'm a Hindu, I will vote for BJP. That's a small minority. Most of us vote for development. The vote Narendra Modi got in 2014 was for development, right? So if the Congress is able to reinvent itself as a party that can once again fuel the engines of development of this country, maybe they have a future. You know, in some ways it's about coming back with a new story. Now, I don't know whether they have the capacity to do that. You look at the current leadership of the Congress, I mean, intellectually, last 3 years they're dead. What has been the Congress's response to Narendra Modi?
They're waiting for him to
Zero.
fail. Yeah.
So unless they come up with new ideas that are different from the BJP, not simply imitate the BJP, I don't see a future.
Siddharth, what should the Congress do, I mean, to reinvent itself in terms of the ideology, in terms of what they offer to the people?
See, whatever it is cannot be top down, in the sense that I would say that the fundamental problem of the party is not even that you have somebody like Rahul who is in charge, who may not be the most competent leader, but the fact that you don't have any institutionalized process for deliberation, democracy, for decision making in that party. Right? So today, for example, I mean, Pankaj mentioned AICC hasn't met for 3 years now. Something so basic as deciding what the party's line should be. Like, you know, Congress party has a set of spokespersons, right?
Yeah.
So demonetization has been announced, or surgical strikes have happened, or the decision, the ruling party or the government has done something. What should the Congress party's response to this be? All of that is made up on the hoof. It's made up on the fly. There is no structure within the party where people with competence consult each other. You know, you should, you know, in any sensible opposition party, you would have a shadow cabinet, right? That would be meeting on a daily basis, deliberating on all the issues of the day, deciding what the party's position is, ensuring that the line is understood top to bottom, and that people from the bottom also give an input. You have none of this deliberative, you know, so the Congress thinking is what anybody on any given day says. And the fact is that they don't. So you can see very haphazard, you know, initially the Congress on the first response was demonetization is rubbish within half an hour or an hour. Then 2-3 days later, when they saw that no, there's popular support, the Congress party supported demonetization. Then when they saw there's public anger and dissatisfaction, they came out against it. So at no stage was there any kind of, you know, political clarity as to what this party stands for. And these are just tactical issues, not to speak of the larger questions that Sanjay is pointing towards, you know, of development, of the place of secularism, where I feel that the Congress has compromised in the past. It has played, it has sought to appease at different times reactionaries in the Muslim community and reactionaries in the Hindu community, thinking that it can somehow, you know, tactically maneuver and get ahead. It's played this kind of politics. It's never been consistently a secular party. It's never been consistently committed to the quote-unquote socialist economic principles to which it apparently is committed. So what does this party stand for?
What does the Congress stand for? What should it stand for?
No, Congress had a very firm ideology. It had a very committed ideology, but unfortunately, it has all got mixed up. When you have people holding key positions who are coming in from various political parties, you have a Madhusudan Mistry, you have a Shankar Singh Waghela, you have a Mohan Prakash, you have a Sanjay Nirupam, you have a Renuka Chaudhary, and a whole lot of people who have come from outside who have nothing to do with the Congress ideology, who are
But are given key positions.
Are given key positions. Where will the Congress people go? You have an alliance with Samajwadi Party in UP, and you leave nearly 320 seats where your cadres and your party has a presence to choose whether to go towards BJP or because they can't go towards the Samajwadi Party. There's no thinking, and the perception wise also Congress ceased to be a secular party. Even Mr. Antony, after 2014 debacle, noted after conducting some sort of a fact-finding thing that Congress, the general perception was it had tilted towards the minorities. There was no need for the Congress to do that. Congress was a party for everyone. During Indira Gandhi's time, there was no talk of Muslims. She used to talk of weaker sections. Here, the entire political idiom had changed. So Congress needs to know, it needs to reinvent itself. It needs to change the people who were, giving all kinds of advices to, the current leadership, which has not understood how the dynamics works. Essentially, if you look at it, Narendra Modi has won the election. Of course, all credit should go to him. But basically, Congress has never lost to any political party. It has always lost to itself, whether it was in 77 when Jagjeevan Ram Bahuguna etc. moved out, in 89 when VP Singh, Arun Nehru and Arif Mohammad Khan moved out, in 96 when the Congress Tewari got formed, and in 2014 large number of congressmen left. Now why would they stick together? There's enough indication that the Gandhis cannot deliver. That's why people are looking for greener pastures.
Okay.
They're going elsewhere.
Arati, what should the credible narrative be? You need one.
Well, it's not for me to say. I think this is something the Congress needs to work out. But I mean, I think 2 or 3 points. One is that they need to stop being so reactive to Narendra Modi. It has become now, I mean, whatever they do, it's like an anti-Modi, refrain. Just because Suit Woot touched a chord and proved to be a success, and really, it was a smart line, and I think we saw a lot of changes in Narendra Modi's, persona after that. Doesn't mean that you can continue with that, So that's the first thing they need to do. Stop being reactive and stop, just attacking Modi. The second is, of course, they have to work out some kind of a, new narrative for themselves. And, I think the Congress party has not understood the changes that are taking place across India. I mean, many of us don't understand it also, and this is largely because they sit in Delhi, they don't travel out. Even when they travel out, they're mostly addressing large rallies that have been organized by, sycophants and chamchas. So they it's like an echo chamber. They hear only one kind of opinion. There's really no connect with people. So I think that the Congress party doesn't understand really what is happening in India, the changes that are taking place, this new group of voters that Narendra Modi seems to have tapped into and has got them solidly with him. I mean, all of us thought, for instance, that demonetization was a wrong move. But, it turned out, I mean, maybe economically it was wrong, but in terms of, the political value that Narendra Modi got out of it was amazing. So clearly there is a disconnect, and, clearly the Congress also did not understand what Narendra Modi was doing with demonetization. So it needs to, break out of this echo chamber. It needs to go beyond the sycophants who organize these large rallies for them. And perhaps it needs to do some mass connect really down there in the villages, in the small towns, and find out what is happening in India today. And then construct a narrative around that. And it has to be different from the BJP's. It cannot be soft Hindutva or, anything like that. It has to be different. They have to posit a clear-cut alternative to the BJP so that people get attracted to that. There's no point in being a soft or B team of the BJP.
We're going to take a break, but we're going to come back and continue discussing this, and also just take a quick look at the rest of the opposition. Can it come together to form a Modi versus rest juggernaut or not? Welcome back to the Newsdesk Sunday Guardian Roundtable. We are here taking a look at the Congress party and also the rest of the opposition. Dr. Baru, can they come together on a Modi versus rest platform? I know Sharad Pawar has been, Rahul Gandhi in fact reached out to Sharad Pawar and asked him to cobble together some sort of coalition. I don't know what Pawar's answer was, but can they bring together Mayawati, Akhilesh, Nitish Kumar, and would they accept to come on a platform led by the Congress?
I don't know what's happening, all these newspaper reports about Mrs. Gandhi meeting everybody.
Right, or the presidential elections, can they come up
with?
But
I don't see it. It's a complete waste of time. I think activity for the sake of showing activity. I cannot imagine that all of them will come together. They do not have a reason to come together. You know, I mean, just look at the politics state by state. There are Chandrababu Naidu in Andhra Pradesh, or AIDMK in Tamil Nadu, or even Mamata Banerjee in Bengal, unless the BJP really poses a challenge to her, which as of now is not a challenge. I mean, after all, why would Mamata bring the left and the Congress together onto a platform when right now the real challenge for her in Bengal is the left and Congress coming together? So you do a state-wise analysis. I don't see sense why all these people should come together to fight Narendra Modi. I think the reality of Indian politics is that for the next 7 years, if not more, the BJP will be the dominant national party. For every regional party, the priority is to remain a regional party.
And
How does
their
it make a
state.
difference who's in Delhi? I'm Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. I want to make sure I remain Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. I'm Chief Minister of Bengal. I want to make sure I remain Chief Minister of Bengal. Delhi mein who's Prime Minister? How is it my problem? And I'm not going to become Prime Minister. Just because Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi want to become Prime Minister, why should I be, So this whole idea that the entire opposition will come together against Narendra Modi, to me is a completely stupid and vacuous idea.
You see, the problem is that BJP has set its sights on capturing power in places like West Bengal, in places like Odisha, right? Mission East, I forget what title they've given it. They're pretty aggressive, and I think both BJD and TMC, while Sanjay is right that their priority is to remain in their state, the BJP is not making it easier for them, right? So I would imagine that they would come under, and if you look at, so there are compelling reasons why at each state level. I would reverse the logic of Sanjay's and say that in many state contests, the fact that the BJP is emerging as a major player, right? Kerala, Bengal, Assam, it already is there. In Odisha, look at the performance in the panchayat level elections. So there are reasons why you could imagine, even in Uttar Pradesh, for example, after the sweep of the BJP, there are voices within Samajwadi and even BSP and Congress saying that can we look at it. The mechanics of it, however, seem rather daunting. And what this would involve are also trade-offs or kind of, deals which will have payoffs at different moments in time. So a Samajwadi BSP deal which leads to a fourth front coming to power in Delhi in 2019 may be of little value to Mayawati, who knows that the chief ministership of Uttar Pradesh isn't going to fall vacant until 2022. So she may support Samajwadi in 2019, but will the Samajwadi pay her back in 2022? So there's so many imponderables that make the alliance difficult. I think it's in their interest to perhaps think about it, but I don't see how it can be worked very easily.
And is Sonia Gandhi or Rahul the right person, or someone like Pawar is needed to bring them?
You see, Sharad Pawar is already on the other side. The Padma Vibhushan and the fact that the BJP has gone slow on the irrigation scam investigation tells you a different story. So I think that Pawar is out of the equation. However, I would say that the BJD is into the equation, TMC is in, the Samajwadi could be brought in. So there are enough, but you're right. I mean, neither Sonia nor Rahul has that. You need a Harkishan Surjit type of person.
Or Amar Singh.
Amar Singh is also, there's question marks about who he stands for really, who he represents. So I think that the mechanics of bringing about this alliance, quite apart from the fact that, arithmetic may not work. At the end of the day, people also want to know, okay, what do you stand for? Right? And so the biggest imponderable is that they may well come together, but even that may not be enough.
Yeah, Arati, there is no grand old man or grand old woman of the alliance to bring together the rest.
I think all these parties need to take it one step at a time. I mean, 2019 is 2 years away, and who knows what can happen in the next 2 years. So talking of an anti-Modi front at this point of time, I think is too premature. What they have, however, on hand is a presidential election, which is coming up in 2 months' time. And certainly, I mean, I think efforts are on and, may well succeed in putting up a joint opposition candidate, to oppose the, the ruling NDA candidate. And there are, fissures within the NDA depending on who the joint opposition candidate could be. So these are fissures that the, opposition parties could utilize. So I think they need to take it one step at a time, start with the presidential candidate, see whether your moves to create some kind of a united opposition platform succeeds there, and then move from there on to something else. And it has to be issue based, it has to be, program based, it has to, it can't just be that, you know, we will get together just to oppose Modi. I think that's a situation which Modi would love actually. He revels in, you know, in being made the villain of the piece, and, you know, he somehow turns it into a personality, you know, contest, and, you know, comes out on top. So I think that's really the wrong way of going about it, and they need to, you know, they need to create you know, a platform which will keep them together, not just to oppose Modi, but to offer an alternative to the people of India.
And the first step is the presidential elections, Pankaj. What have you heard? You know, can they come up with a name like that? Is Pawar himself a candidate?
Well, it is difficult right now. You know, a lot of things, a lot of discussions are taking place. You know, Congress is not in the same position as it was, say, when in July 2003 at the Simla conclave, Sonia Gandhi gave a call that, you know, she is willing to lead the opposition, the secular parties, and they should all come together. That time Congress was in power in 12 or 13 states. It had more than 115 members of parliament in the Lok Sabha. It is now 44. It is in Lok Sabha. It has, its numbers are dwindling. The states are being lost one after the other. You know, so, you know, the Congress does not have the same kind of, you know, strength to command, take the command of a joint opposition. There has to be a strategy, there has to be planning. If, say, Sonia Gandhi was to come across and say that I'm willing to help in forming of this alliance, but it will not be my party which will lead the alliance, one of you should lead the alliance, and maybe it is Mamata Banerjee or somebody else, you know, it will make more sense. But no one is going to accept Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi to be leading the alliance. No one wants to walk into, you know, the valley of death, you know, when the elections take place. And there has to be some sort of, you know, what do you call, similarity between what they want to do. It can't be just anti-Modi.
I have to end now by judging by this discussion. It seems as if Prime Minister Modi will have some more good news to celebrate when he celebrates his 3 years in government. The opposition really does need to get its act together, especially the Congress. But that's it from us now. Thank you for watching this show. We'll see you again same time next week.